Day, despite weather and all that kind of thing, means that this 1.7 is a very, very solid 1.7. It's not going to tank like The Cape. It's not going to tank like another new show that they have no idea how it's going to do. It's going to keep that same 5.3 million viewers over and over and over again. And that's what numbers people like. Numbers people like consistency. And so even when you factor in, and we're going to talk a little bit about the negative factors here, everybody says, well, Comcast is a wild card. When they come in, if NBC can show them solid week after week after week, consistent millions of viewers, that looks good. Comcast is a wild card. That means that nobody, Fedak and Schwartz can't predict with certainty what's going to happen. It's a wild card, but these kinds of things do look good for them, the dollars and cents. The other thing, maybe Mel and Liz, you know a bit more about these other shows, Dancing with the Stars and also the NCAA is going to be happening on Monday nights. How is that going to impact, Chuck?
Well, I know that Dancing with the Stars always has an impact.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that there is any kind of an overlap in the viewership, but it does have an impact. NCAA, since Chuck does skew male, that might have an impact, but that's a pretty short-term thing. That's only going to have, and Chuck's going to be off the air on the first Monday in March, so I don't know that we're going to see much of an impact from that. What we are going to see an impact from on March 14th is the daylight savings time. So that happens on the 13th.
Yeah.
And that's across the board. You remember last year?
Oh yeah, last year was huge.
Everything got hit. Like Chuck actually on Monday night had the lowest percentage drop in viewers, and it was like 10%. And that was the lowest drop of the night across all of the networks and all of the shows. And it kept the residual effect of the time change went through, I think through Thursday of that week. So it makes a big difference. Daylight savings time does.
Yeah. But again, it's all relative. So as we saw with Valentine's Day, every other show, House dropped 22% that night. Every other show dropped majorly, but Chuck stayed steady. So my prediction is that it would stay. It will see a dip that night, but I don't think it'll see as much of a dip as the other shows. Now, what do you guys think about this? I was thinking about this a little bit. And, Chuck has had as many as 8 million viewers for an episode. And gradually, we've seen a bit of pruning happening over the last 3-4 seasons. My feeling, looking at these numbers, is that we've been pruned to a very loyal 5.3 million viewers. That, say, for instance, last year with the daylight savings time, say the 6.5 million might have included 1 million of sort of iffy people that might cause a dip down to 5.5. But now we're at this core 5.3. Do you think we're going to be affected as much? I don't think so. What do you guys think?
I don't think so. No, I think you're right. I think this is a solid, loyal. Word is always getting out, starting, the wee small hours of Sunday morning or Monday morning. Watch Chuck. Chuck is, the countdown begins so many hours. So with all that going on, social networks, everybody's talking to everybody else. You're going to watch Chuck tonight. I don't think it will see what we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
I think we may see like a slight dip, but not it'll bounce back.
Yeah.
I think we like you said, I think the 5.3 million viewership is, and actually I would raise it up to 5.5. I think this week was just a little bit low for what we've been seeing. It seems to bounce between 5.3 and 5.5, 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's the bottom. And the other couple 100,000 viewers are watching it on DVR later.
Yeah. And so to start to wrap up the discussion of the ratings, I would say something that we haven't really talked about before. But I'm going to say, I'm going to venture out a little bit and say what I feel the barometer is, or what my predictions are. And my prediction is that if we were to stay at 1.7 with a possible 1 week dip with daylight savings time to 1615, but get back to 1.7, maybe some weeks a little higher to balance that out. My prediction is roughly 75% chance renewal. I think if we go to 1.6 more than once, that changes drastically. I would say down to 40%. If it goes down to 1.5 more than once, I'd say it's really bad, down to 25%. By contrast, if we go up to about 1.9, I'd say it's a shoo-in, 90% chance renewal. Would you guys say that those numbers are around what you would think?
Given the information that things I've been told from network and studio, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
So what that translates into is that we cannot rest on our laurels. 75% chance. I mean, it's good, but it's not where we'd like to be. And so a lot of us are on Twitter, especially those who listen to the podcast. I would urge you to use other social media and other ways of spreading the word. For what happens with a lot of us is that the people who are on Twitter are already going to watch on Monday night. I think once we get to our Facebook friends and email and our coworkers and our family members, there we get into the areas of people that might not already be watching that night. And so I urge us to spread the word among our sphere of personal influence as best as we can. I don't think that a campaign right now is what's needed. I think that as long as we stay with this 1.7 and urge the people around us to get this up to maybe a 1.8 or a 1.9, I think that's far, far more important than any letters or any other thing that we could be doing that's flashy. We don't need the flashy stuff. We need the consistent ratings.
I agree.
Yeah.
I have just a fun thing that developed this week for me. I'm starting my thesis. I had to turn in my proposal today, actually. And I'm working, it's a sociolinguistics project, and I'm using Chuck and some of the language from the show and from the fans, doing some analysis of that as my master's thesis. And I was talking to my thesis director and about it, and he said, now, you're going to need to let me see this show so I know what you're talking about. I've never seen Chuck. I was like, right on. Buy another set of DVDs, and it's a legitimate school expense, and get him hooked on it. I think he's really going to get a kick out of it. So, you never know where that's going to come from, where a chance to get somebody else hooked on the show is going to come from. So I just was enjoying that.
Yeah.
But yes, it's not time to do some big, we have some ideas for closer to decision time, closer to when the network is going to decide for sure whether to give Chuck that 5th season. We have some ideas of things that fans can do to campaign, and really let Comcast know what NBC already knows, that we want the show. We want another season. But it's too early. It's too early. Right now, we need to focus on keeping that 1.7 as our low point, quite frankly. It's good that we've been steady when everything else is dropping or just being really unpredictable. NBC, that's good, but we need to get that up to a 1.8 or a 1.9, really. And then another thing that we want to encourage you guys to do is, when you see a product integrated into the show, let the advertiser know if you buy that product, let them know that you did it because you saw it on Chuck.
Yeah.
Give them that direct feedback, and let them know that that was money well spent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not only did I see your product and buy it, I did it because you put it on this specific show.
Mm-hmm.
Which are the fan base that will respond to that. I mean, I'm not saying if, you know, somebody advertises, I don't know, that no nonsense pantyhose are perfect for robbing a bank. And you actually don't have a need for pantyhose, that you should go out and buy 20 pair. But, you know, you work in an office, you need hose.
Yeah.
Buy that brand and let them know, hey, I saw this on Chuck's head and I thought it would look good on my legs.
And the way these marketing departments work, it doesn't take many emails to let them know they're making a difference. 1 or 2 or 3 emails is cause for, you know, for them saying, hey, this is working.
Yeah, it's cause for them to let their supervisor or their manager or their higher up know that campaign worked.
Yeah.
That product placement worked. So
yeah,
I encourage you to do that. And along those lines, we Liz, you have your.
I do.
Got the little sleep sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Clara's sleep sheet.
It's so fluffy, I could die.
So cute.
And it really is fluffy and soft.
Uh-huh.
And soothing.
Very soothing.
And where did we see those before?
I had never seen anything like this before. I mean, I've heard of soothing, like white noise for sleep, but I'd never seen it integrated into a cute little stuffed animal before.
Hmm.
But you're the one with the child. Maybe you have.
Yeah.
I wish they had these when my kids were this small.
Yeah. But we did see them on Chuck.
Yep. Baby Clara and Jeff.
Yeah.
Put to sleep with the sleep sheet.
Yeah.
So again, we want to encourage you, if you're of a mind and of a need to do something, to purchase an item like this one, you should do it and let the company know that you're doing it because you saw it on Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are somebody who needs a sleep sheet, if you have a little one in your life, or if you just need a good night's sleep and you have noisy neighbors, we have a deal for you. Cloud B, the company who makes the sleep sheet, is offering Chuck fans a 50% discount through the month of March. And this is an exclusive discount. It is just for Chuck fans. This is a way for them to really measure what kind of an impact they're having. You saw our post last week about the sleep sheet, and they contacted us and said, hey, would you be interested in a discount? And it's 50%.
Yeah, that's big.
I'm getting another one.
Yeah, are you? Awesome.
I am.
Okay, may as well at that rate. So all you have to do is go to facebook.com/cloudb, their Facebook page, and like Cloud B on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And then comment on their wall that you saw the sleep sheet on the February 21st episode of Chuck, and they will send each person who does that an exclusive 50% discount code for the sleep sheet for use on their website.